girl?
I hate you, Scooter.
Condemned?
Yeah, I was gonna review it. Wanna help out?
Heck yeah!
Running from the Bureau will do no good.
Someone else killed those policemen.
Shot with your weapon, and you will be blamed for their deaths.
Open up, it's the police.
Condemned Criminal Origins was the first real horror game I ever played that scared the crud buckets out of me. Up until this game, I had been playing Resident Evil games, and they were getting pretty predictable as far as gameplay goes. There was also the Alone in the Dark for the PC, which was scary as balls on fire, but as an adult, it's just very nostalgic. Then there was Condemned, a game that I barely knew anything about and decided to grab it early into getting my 360. Needless to say, this game was dark, scary, and gave me the shits of nightmares. It actually took the entire game for me to get used to the scenes, and by the time I got used to it, I was on the final level, so the environment held strong throughout the entire experience.
Thomas, I don't got all day here. Let's get a move on.
Condemned was developed by Monolith Productions and published by Sega. It was launched onto the 360 in 2005 and later to the PC in 2006. The developers cite such films as Silence of the Lambs and Seven as inspiration for their game, but between the two films I see more similarities from Seven. I personally feel that the atmosphere and emotions throughout the film are just more on par with Condemned. It's dirty and gloriously chilling. Watch it and thank me later.
Nothing's been touched. Everything's like I found it.
What time was death established?
Like I said, I didn't touch anything. But he's had his face in a plate of spaghetti for about 45 minutes now.
Wait a minute. No one bothers with vital signs?
Did I stutter? This guy ain't breathing unless he started breathing spaghetti sauce.
So that's how it's done around here.
I beg your pardon, detective, but this guy's been sitting in a pile of his own piss and shit. If he wasn't dead, he would have stood up by now.
All right, thank you, officer. Somebody phone Dennis. I think we got a record here.
Get up now, motherfucker. Now!
Get up, you sack of shit. Oh, fuck me.
Dex! You wanna come take a look at this? Dex!
This picture was dated 3 days ago. This must be the first one. Look. It's dated exactly 1 year ago today.
I got a hair sample, I got a stool sample, I got piss, I got fingernails.
He's laughing at us. You got what you deserved.
The game may also look familiar to the same style of Fear, another game created by Monolith released earlier in 2005. You are Agent Ethan Thomas. You go in to check out a crime scene and shit goes downhill from there. Led on a trail of clues and terrifying areas, you must discover the secret to serial killer X. While I won't reveal any spoilers, I will simply say that the storyline is sorta confusing, but only in the sense that it feels like there should be a sequel. And there is. However, the storyline on its own holds up pretty well enough to have left the game without any continuations.
You seem to know a lot more about what's happening than you're letting on.
The gameplay feels kinda limited, and that's what makes the game so terrifying. Kinda like Fatal Frame and Haunting Ground, you don't carry an arsenal of weapons. For the most part, you're using a pipe or a stick against gnarly enemies on some sort of new insane drug. Occasionally you receive a gun, but it is very limited amount of ammunition, so I end up being extremely reserved when I find one. A projectile taser is added to your arsenal to slow down enemies and stop them dead in their tracks. There are also some health packs littered along your trails as you need them, and you will need them. The levels usually feel pretty linear, but occasionally get confusing. Along with fighting criminals, you need to investigate crime scenes to help track down your opponents. However, it does feel pretty handicapped with no challenge or thought-provoking at all. It automatically picks the item you need to investigate the area and fills you in on what you've discovered, so you don't really feel like you're truly investigating a scene.
Just a sec. Strangled by hand. Very forceful. Finger marks clear, except bruise intensity indicates the killer's right-handed.
Now, the enemies start out pretty generic and look like you would run into them freaks if you were in the wrong part of town. But later it feels like you are fighting possessed zombies or demons. The game itself becomes darker the further you get into it and feels more intense the longer you play. Personally, I had to take several hour breaks at a time when I played within the proper atmosphere. You know, lights off, sound up, all alone. So I strongly recommend this game for those who want a good scare. It's scary as all hell and entertaining to play, but make sure you play it in the dark, sound up, all alone, or else it may just feel like another game. I give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Are we gonna review the next game?
Give me just 1 second.
One.
No, wait!
Lieutenant, I'm a friend of Ethan Thomas. He must be warned. He must know that it's not over. I've tried contacting him, but he's right there. I said
stop! Well, without further delay, Condemned 2 Bloodshot. This game is way darker than the first game, and I mean it literally. Ethan Thomas is no longer with the Bureau and has become an alcoholic. Well, who can blame him? He killed a crud ton of fellas in the last game, with his bare fist for the most part. It would drive any man insane. Condemned 2 Bloodshot was released on March 11, 2008 for the Xbox 360, and later for the PS3. Due to its violent content, it was banned from Germany October 2008 by BPJM, or Federal Department for Media Harmful to Young Persons. But other than that, the sequel shares the same influences as the past game. So, it has been 11 months since the last game. Ethan looks like shit and hates everything, which makes him pretty badass. Sporting a new voice actor, Ethan Thomas is called back into the services to help Malcolm Van Horn, an old friend from the last game. The game delves more deeply into the paranormal phenomenons that are occurring in the city. The game turns away from being a realistic horror and becomes more unrealistic, but 10 times scarier. The game features hand-to-hand combat now, which makes it more comfortable to go into a room without a pipe in hand. You can hang onto a weapon for later use. However, the weapons still break down eventually. Finishing moves are also put into play in this game. Enjoy smashing faces into TVs, walls, spikes, and even toilet seats. It's a rip-roaring good time to be had by all. Multiplayer is available as well. However, I had a very difficult time finding a server to play with. The one server I did find was hosted by an asshole who decided that if no one played by his rules, he was just gonna boot them. Though it was a cool idea, it felt pretty underdeveloped. Probably due to the fact that not a lot of people really had any incentive to play it online. There's nothing new or exciting in online play. The game was designed to feel slow and scary. So you can imagine that online play would be just as slow and even boring since there are no AIs to jump out and scare you. Woohoo, I found a server. Let's get this game started. Yeah. Anytime. Woo. This is gonna be awesome. Any minute now. Okay. So yeah, even when you do find a server, you're gonna be waiting a long time, because this one does not plan on getting started anytime soon. I even went out and tried a couple more times to find another server, but it kept bringing me back to the same one, and this guy still didn't have the urge to start it up. But I'll save you from watching that footage, we'll just move on with the review. But besides that, everything feels just like the last game. You're once again investigating scenes and trying to see who's behind it all. But I do have to admit, the investigation scenes feel much better. You have to scan the area and decide what happened from a list of multiple choices. The game tells you how accurate you were, and when you finish, it feels extremely satisfying to get 100% accurate.
Proceeding to the hotel lobby.
Copy that, search team.
So this game is extremely terrifying. I had a tough time playing through this game when I bought it, but the end is well worth the play. You run into some old friends and old enemies along the way. The storyline feels extremely fluid and easy to understand, but it definitely shines and creepy when you have to venture into the doll factory, the little tards that blow up in front of you. Little fuckers. The final score is a 4 out of 5, simply because it feels like the same experience as the last game, and they went into more firefighting, especially in the final level. There are more guys with guns than the last game, so it tends to feel less to hand-to-hand combat than before, which is what made Criminal Origins so exceptional. Hopefully they will imply it more in the next installment.
That was fun. When are we gonna do the next review?
I don't know.
Hey, I got an idea. We should do a review about Fatal Frame.
I will kill you.
You're no fun.